Hey Vikings Nation! If you thought the Minnesota Vikings were done making moves after the huge quarterback splash, think again. Because even after bringing in the electrifying Kyler Murray to lead the offense into the future, there's one massive question still hanging over this roster. And trust me, it's a position that could make or break the entire season for the Vikings. Today we're diving into one of the biggest unanswered questions surrounding the Minnesota Vikings right now. A roster hole that hasn't truly been solved yet. Free agency is slowing down, the best players are disappearing fast, and the Vikings front office is running out of easy options. So the big question is this: are the Vikings about to trust someone already on the roster? Or will they find their answer in the NFL draft? Stick with me because what we're about to break down might determine whether the Minnesota Vikings offense becomes unstoppable in 2026, or whether it struggles when it matters most. And Vikings fans, I want to hear your opinion in the comments too. Who should be the starting center for this team? The Minnesota Vikings made headlines when they secured Kyler Murray as their starting quarterback for the upcoming season. A move like that instantly changes the expectations for the entire franchise. When you bring in a dynamic quarterback with elite mobility and big playability, the offense suddenly looks like it can compete with anyone in the league. But building a contender takes more than just a star quarterback. The Vikings still have several important roster questions to answer before the season begins. Fans are still wondering who will step up as the third wide receiver, who replaces the production left behind on the defensive line, and what happens in the secondary if veteran leadership disappears. Yet even with all those questions floating around, there is one position that might be more important than any other for the Minnesota Vikings offense: the center position. And right now, Vikings fans, that position might be the biggest uncertainty on the roster. For years, stability at center has been one of the most underrated factors for successful NFL offenses. The center controls the protection calls, communicates with the quarterback, and anchors the interior offensive line. If that position struggles, the entire offense can collapse under pressure. Last season, veteran center Ryan Kelly brought experience and stability when he was on the field. Even though injuries limited him, his performance showed exactly why a reliable center is so valuable. He played in 8 games and logged over 300 snaps, giving the Minnesota Vikings a steady presence in the middle. His pass protection numbers were impressive as well. He allowed only a handful of quarterback pressures and gave up just 1 sack all season. For a quarterback trying to operate efficiently in the pocket, that kind of reliability is extremely valuable. But things changed quickly for the Vikings once Kelly stepped away from the game. His retirement left a massive gap in the offensive line, and suddenly the Minnesota Vikings were forced to evaluate whether their current options could handle the job full-time. One of the first players to step into that role was Blake Brandel. Vikings fans saw him take the starting job during several stretches of the season, and he logged more than 300 snaps at center during his opportunities. The results were mixed. Some games showed promise, while others revealed how difficult the position can be. Brandel allowed multiple quarterback pressures and gave up several sacks across his starts, which is something the Minnesota Vikings coaching staff definitely noticed. However, it wasn't all bad. Against certain teams, Brandel showed that he could hold his own, delivering strong pass-blocking performances and helping stabilize the offensive line. The real question is whether that level of play can be consistent enough to protect a quarterback like Kyler Murray for an entire season. Another name that entered the conversation was Michael Juergens. He also saw time at center and provided another potential in-house option for the Minnesota Vikings coaching staff to evaluate. Juergens played in several games and logged nearly 200 snaps at the position. While he showed flashes of solid play, the pressure numbers allowed during those snaps indicate there is still development needed before he can be considered a locked-in starter. For a team with playoff ambitions, the Vikings must decide whether that development can happen quickly enough. Because when your quarterback is under pressure up the middle, the entire offense can fall apart in seconds. When comparing the numbers from last season, the difference between the veteran and the younger options becomes even clearer. Ryan Kelly wasn't just better in pass protection. He was also dominant as a run blocker. His run-blocking grade was significantly higher than both Brandel and Juergens. That kind of interior power helps create running lanes and keeps defenses honest, which is something every successful Minnesota Vikings offense needs. Without that elite interior presence, the Vikings could struggle to establish balance on offense. And that's exactly why so many fans believe the team should have aggressively pursued a top free agent center. Interestingly, the Minnesota Vikings front office chose patience instead of urgency during free agency. Several high-profile centers quickly signed deals around the league, but the Vikings stayed quiet and avoided bidding wars. Players like Tyler Linderbaum, Connor McGovern, Cade Mays, and Luke Fortner all found new homes, leaving Vikings fans wondering if the team had missed its opportunity to fix the position through free agency. Instead of rushing into a costly deal, the Vikings leadership emphasized the importance of patience and smart decision-making. Their philosophy was simple: stack good decisions now so the roster remains strong when the games actually start in September. Even though many of the top options are gone, a few experienced players still remain on the free agent market. One intriguing possibility is James Daniels, a player who has historically graded well as both a pass and run blocker when healthy. Injuries limited Daniels in recent seasons, which might explain why he is still available. But when he was healthy between 2018 and 2023, he consistently posted strong performance grades, making him a potential low-risk, high-upside addition for a team like the Minnesota Vikings. Another interesting name is Jolt Froholt, who previously played alongside Kyler Murray during their time with the Arizona Cardinals. That familiarity could make him an appealing option if the Vikings want someone who already understands Murray's playing style. Still, there is no guarantee that any available free agent would be a clear upgrade over the players already in the Vikings locker room. And that uncertainty might explain why the team has remained cautious with its spending. Because of that, there is a very real possibility that the Minnesota Vikings will head into training camp with an open competition for the starting center job. Brandel and Juergens could battle it out while the coaching staff evaluates every snap closely. At the same time, the upcoming NFL draft could hold the long-term answer. The Vikings might decide that investing in a young center with starting potential is the smartest move for the future of the offense. Imagine pairing a talented rookie center with Kyler Murray for the next decade. That kind of partnership could give the Minnesota Vikings stability in the middle of the offensive line for years to come. But Vikings fans, now the question comes to you. Should the Minnesota Vikings trust Blake Brandel or Michael Juergens to step up as the starting center? Should they sign a veteran free agent before the season begins? Or should the team focus on drafting the next franchise center? Drop your opinion right now in the comments because I want to hear what the Vikings Nation thinks about this situation. Your take might be completely different from mine, and that's what makes these conversations so fun. And if you want more breaking Minnesota Vikings news, roster updates, and deep analysis just like this, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with every Vikings fan you know. Because the road to the next Minnesota Vikings season is heating up, and you don't want to miss a single update. Skol, Vikings, Purple Heart American football.